Well, I have to tell you that, the most important thing that a legislature does is to pass a budget, and a budget impacts a lot of things. But when I came through the door in '89, it was right when you had this issue about education and the inequalities associated with education, and KERA was coming about and so forth. So I was right there at the time.
What's KERA?
Kentucky Education Reform Act. I was right at the point where I knew enough people in the process that I could sort of work my little piece into KERA, and I worked diligently on that. I think that's probably one of the most significant actions that's been taken by a legislature, and I was, and still am, glad to have been a part of that. I think that's major. Now, if you look at these other things, in the area of education, I spent a lot of time, not just on the broad education issues that we've dealt with, whether it's from funding, because I'm on Appropriation Revenue Committee as well, our education issues, policies. I've been involved at multiple levels with respect to that, probably too many to talk about now. But it dealt with whether there was going to be African-American participation in the process and how would that take place, how are we going to get children funded at an early age so that it'd be prepared to come to school and do those things that are necessary to be successful, those things that address higher education as to whether or not we're providing the correct funding, and not only from the standpoint of those who provide the instruction, but also the facilities that are necessary and so forth. It's just so many things in the field of education, and quite frankly, in many of the other areas that we deal in that are important. So I could sit down and probably make you a list of things, and if I put them together, I would say that's my work. So it's hard to identify in that sense. I could be specific here if you force me. The other thing, though, is in the criminal justice area. I was on the committee, the Judiciary Committee, for a number of years. Felt that we did some good work with respect to that. But in those days, primarily, I was in the majority party. And remember, I just talked to you about that particular process. And the tendency of the majority party is to limit what anybody in a minority party passes. In fact, some will actually take bits and pieces of what you have, or even scuttle what you have, even though they like it, because of the politics of it all. Very unfortunate. So in the past, I'd say more than that in terms of years, it's been really difficult to be in a minority in the Kentucky State Senate. It's hard to pass anything if you're in a minority.
And get something done.
Right. Well, you still get things done.
Yeah.
You can work through the governor's office. You can work through the House. I passed my legislation through the House. When it comes to the Senate, they don't even know. My fingerprints aren't on it anywhere. Then I vote for it in the Senate, and then I go out and claim it. Because I voted for it, I support it. In fact, I was the one that created the idea. So I have no problems. I'm effective in that sense. But if you said, how do you put your fingerprint on something from the minority standpoint, that's a very difficult thing to put that fingerprint on there. Imprimatur.